What's up, Mouseketeers? Trowbro is back with another e-learning with Trowbro, and today is going to be my second part on how to draw Mickey Mouse. Now, if you didn't watch the first part, that's okay. I'm going to go over how to draw his head again, but if it's giving you trouble, go back and watch my first video, practice a few times, that's all right. Now, I'm going to be drawing using a Wacom tablet. That means I draw like down here, but I be looking at my screen. So I draw a little bit more sketchier. You can draw on Pixlr, or you can draw on pencil and paper. It's up to you, but let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as I start drawing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the basic shapes of Mickey Mouse. So that means the circle on his head, the circles of his ears, and now I'm going to draw the shapes that I see on his body. I'm going to start with his torso. That's his belly. You can kind of see like a circle right there. There's a circle around there, and then I'm going to draw that shape that I see coming from his head to his body. And then his arms are basically just straight rectangles, and same as his feet. Now, once I get to his hands and his feet, I'm going to kind of draw like this oval type shape. I'm not going to try to draw single fingers or thumbs yet. I just want to draw the biggest shape. I want to like simplify it. And that's what I want to draw first. Now that I've figured out the simplest shapes of Mickey Mouse, I'm going to copy that over here on my other side. So this is what you're going to start drawing. I'm going to start with his head, then his ears, and I'm going to draw those same shapes that I drew with the blue over on Mickey Mouse. To keep it nice and simple. I'm not doing any details yet. I just want the basic general shape of Mickey Mouse. This is always how you draw. You never start with just one point and spread out. You want to draw the biggest shapes to make sure that all your proportions are correct. Already, without any details, this is starting to look like Mickey Mouse. Now, I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but I'm going to draw his face, and if you need to, go back and watch the first video, but I start with the biggest shape that I see, which is his nose, and then I go kind of off of that to do his eyes and his mouth and that little shape around his face. The next biggest shape that I want to start on is his shorts, and luckily for us, it's basically a circle. Coming off this leg right here, we have an oval shape with his rectangle foot coming out of it, coming around, and his other part of his pant short is kind of like a rectangle shape. Then goes back to the circle, and then two little ovals right there for, I guess they're buttons. Alright, now his feet aren't too bad. Going into his foot, they have like kind of like these tire-like shapes. They're kind of like ovals around his feet. And then his shoes themselves are kind of oval-y type shapes too. Don't forget that little line on his right foot. And that's about it. So I've been saving, I think, what is the hardest part for last, which is his hands. And so before I start drawing his fingers and his thumbs, I'm going to draw those little tire shapes that he also has on his feet, where his legs are going into his shoes. And so before his arms go into his gloves, you draw those little bitty tire shapes. So going into his right hand, I'm going to have to draw what I see. And so I kind of start with that little curve of his hand, and then I go into each one of his fingers, just one at a time, go into his thumb, kind of try to find those shapes with my pencil and kind of go over it once I'm confident and that I think that that's the right line to draw. Then after that I go over to his other one and kind of just draw the same thing. I look for those shapes and those lines and try to draw them just the best that I can do. It's not 100% perfect, but I try to just match it the best that I can. Now that I've basically drawn everything out, I'm going to go over lines a little bit darker, the ones that I know are correct. Also go in and shade things. You can color with colored pencil or you can paint it, and it's up to you. I will also erase any lines that I don't think should be there, or any of my sketch lines. I want to clean up my drawing. I also need to do his tail. I can't forget Mickey Mouse's tail. And so let's get that done, and then my Mickey Mouse is complete. But let's say you don't want to draw Mickey Mouse. What about Minnie, Mr. Trowbridge? Alright, so now looking at this Minnie Mouse that I grabbed from the internet, this pose is a little bit different than my Mickey Mouse pose. But that's alright. I'll adapt it. Now, if you didn't watch my first video, I kind of show how to make my Mickey Mouse into Minnie Mouse. I give eyelashes and I draw the bow, erase part of the ears. Pretty easy. Now, his gloves, Mickey Mouse's, is about the same as Minnie Mouse. So his and her hands are going to be pretty much the same if it's the exact same pose. So we're going to keep that, but everything else is pretty much different. His feet and his dress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the same shape, the same basic shape of Mickey Mouse at the beginning. His body and his feet, just the general shape. And then I need to go in and start making it look like Minnie's dress. Drawing her belt will help. The belt line right there kind of goes right above the circle shape, and then her dress is kind of waves. It's kind of a wavy thing. Don't put too many waves in it. Like there's just kind of like that big curve, that little one over there. Now Minnie's shoes are a little bit different than Mickey's. Not only does she have heels, but little bows on top. And because the picture that I have on the left is a little bit different, like the angle's different, I'm going to have to make it up a little bit. And so I'm going to kind of draw how I think it might look. The bows are basically the same as the ones on her head. You draw the little knot and then little butterflies at the end, and that's basically a bow. And try to find the shape the best you can. I'm kind of doing the best I can. I think it looks pretty good. It looks like Minnie's shoes to me. Clean up lines. Now in the picture on the left, there's a little bracelet, so that's basically just kind of like a oval with another oval. There's a little bit of overlapping going on, and then I just go around and add the little details, color in lines, do her polka dots. She has a little bit of a collar, I think because her mouth is kind of hard to see. Do the polka dots, go in there and color in anything that's supposed to be black. Remember, you can use colored pencil or paint. Now once I think I'm done with my drawing, I go around and I can clean it up, erase any lines that I don't like, so that it looks perfect. I go over it with a Sharpie or markers to make sure that lines that I want to be predominant, like to be bold and stick out. And then I have my Mickey and I have my Minnie, and they both look pretty nice. Both pretty happy. I'm happy. I think we're all happy. Well, Mouseketeers, I hope you had fun drawing Mickey or Minnie Mouse. Now, if you're feeling frustrated and you're not drawing as good as you want, that's okay. You just got to keep practicing. I know it can be frustrating at times, but stick with it and don't give up. Now, stay tuned next week for my next e-learning with Trowbro, and I'll see you next time.